Stare at a bright, repetitive motion long enough, and your brain enters a state of passive reception. The colors flash at a predictable cadence. The shapes move in an unbroken loop. For a developing mind, this is a neurological anchor that demands absolute, unwavering attention. Cocomelon's Wheels on the Bus maintains a baseline of over 9 billion views. It functions as a permanent fixture of the platform's traffic, generating massive engagement day after day, regardless of current trends. This chart shows the view count of that single nursery rhyme video compared to the total human population on Earth. The metric exceeds the number of living people on the planet. The math breaks down our standard understanding of audience size. The most successful human creators on the platform top out in the hundreds of millions of views for their biggest projects. Placed on the same scale, the pinnacle of high-budget digital entertainment is practically microscopic. Nursery rhyme channels do not exist on the fringes of the platform. Mathematically speaking, they are the primary utility of the website. Human-driven entertainment operates on the margins, a statistical rounding error in an ecosystem dominated by looping 3D animations. Parents generally interact with these videos as a modern convenience. They press play to buy themselves 20 minutes to cook dinner or answer emails, viewing the content as an innocent, free digital babysitter. An ad-supported platform does not provide infrastructure out of goodwill. The transaction is silent. The video plays at no cost because the viewer's undivided attention is the commodity being harvested and sold to advertisers. The production pipeline for these rhymes relies on simple textures, basic rigging, and public domain melodies. Yet the companies executing this formula carry billion-dollar valuations, rivaling legacy media conglomerates. These are data operations wrapped in a pastel aesthetic. They are highly engineered metric harvesting machines disguised as cartoons. Media theorists have a term for this specific architecture, the toddler trap. It is a format built entirely around the cognitive limitations of viewers who have not yet developed impulse control or the capacity to follow a traditional narrative arc. The first hook relies on raw visual intensity. High-contrast visuals and hyper-saturated color palettes forcibly lock onto a developing retina. The brain receives a constant stream of optical stimuli that it cannot easily look away from. The visual stimuli is paired with auditory repetition. Simple, heavily looped musical structures provide a sense of predictability. For a young child still making sense of a chaotic world, recognizing the upcoming beat triggers a reliable release of dopamine. This chart shows viewer retention over time. By stacking intense visual stimulation with predictable auditory loops, these videos generate a perfectly flat, unbroken line. The child watches the exact same sequence dozens of times in a row. The recommendation algorithm is built to expect a steep decline in viewership as a video progresses. When it encounters a demographic that never clicks away, it interprets the retention plateau as a signal of ultimate quality, pushing the content even harder. The final piece of the architecture is the platform's autoplay mechanism. When one hypnotic loop ends, the system instantly serves up another. It relies on the parent's physical absence to maintain the retention cycle indefinitely. The sheer volume of views represents a bypass of conscious selection. These billions of clicks result from a system specifically designed to trigger an involuntary physiological response in developing brains. The operators behind these channels approach video creation as systems engineers. They build industrial content farms. Using public domain properties like Wheels on the Bus or London Bridge strips away the friction of production. There is no need for original writing, narrative development, or copyright licensing. The source material is free and instantly recognizable. This flowchart illustrates the modern production pipeline. Software suites process an initial prompt, generate synthetic vocal tracks, apply those tracks to pre-built 3D animation templates, and push the final render directly to an automated upload queue. Before the upload goes live, the system fractures into dozens of localized variants. The audio is automatically translated and synced for global channels, capturing audiences from Brazil to Japan simultaneously without adding a single hour of human labor. The most successful channels on the platform operate by entirely removing the slow, expensive variable of human creativity from the digital supply chain. Traditional creators battle demographic aging. Their audience outgrows them, forcing constant reinvention. Nursery rhyme farms rely on an evergreen audience. Millions of new toddlers age into the demographic every single year, perfectly replenishing the target market. Operating without a human face secures financial invulnerability. A 3D rendered infant does not experience burnout, demand a renegotiation, or trigger a public relations scandal. The asset performs identically every single day. Once the retention loop is established online, the final phase of monetization begins offline. The digital characters are licensed into physical toys, effectively selling the digital pacifier back to the parents in plastic form. It is an incredibly airtight economic machine. An infinitely replenishing audience consumes a legally free, algorithmically automated product that costs fractions of a cent to manufacture at scale. Independent creators spend their careers fighting the algorithm, battling exhaustion to keep their metrics viable. They are competing against systems that do not sleep, do not tire, and execute the exact right sequence of pixels to maximize watch time. The platform's algorithm evaluates success through raw retention and total watch time. It cannot distinguish between a child immobilized by flashing colors and a human committed with art. By structure, the system prioritizes the automated farm. If the economic incentives of the platform remain strictly tied to retention, independent human entertainment will be steadily pushed to the margins, unable to compete with the mathematical efficiency of psychological traps. As these massive view counts continue to climb, they clearly signal a shift in what the algorithm chooses to sustain. We have to consider whether a marketplace built on raw watch time will eventually leave any space for content that isn't a factory-produced loop.